Hello, how's everybody doing? So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So thank you for joining. Today I'm going to go over some of the exciting things we got going on at 3P Mercury. And I'm going to go ahead and start now. Real quick on the agenda, what we're trying to do today. First of all, we're going to demo out the 3P Mercury mobile calculator. So for those of you who are already familiar with 3P Mercury, we already have a Chrome extension that does profit analysis on the Amazon marketplace. And now what we've done is we've brought this extension out to the mobile platform. And what this will allow you to do, and how it's a little bit different than other extensions out there and mobile apps out there that does profit analysis. We're going to go over that today. And then I'm going to show you a few ways that I utilize the tool to source. So hopefully you'll pick up a couple of insights on how to source in the store, or maybe just mobile while you're waiting to pick up your kids or something. There's many ways to use this, and I'm excited to see how you guys utilize this tool in the future. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already a subscriber to 3P Mercury, you can get it at 3pmercury.com. And for subscribers, we have a couple of bonuses for you guys that's people are really enjoying right now. One of the things, once you become a subscriber to 3P Mercury, is we give out a ungating guide. So with the a lot of new sellers start out, and you guys have a lot of problems, getting gated and everything. So we give you a guide, and it's not only through text, but also with video of me walking you through ungating, the whole ungating process. We show you where to get the products, and all the steps that you have to go through to provide to Amazon to get ungated in various categories and brands. So that's very helpful for you guys who are first starting out, to get you kind of like on the right track. Secondly, we give out another bonus where a lot of new people, even experienced sellers, often get a little bit of a roadblock, like a mental block, like, oh, where do I source, and that kind of thing. So we start you off with a list of ideas. Of course, we don't tell you what you can buy there, but it's a list of ideas of potentially where you can source and things like that to kind of get you, just like in general, like, oh, I didn't know I can buy tools at this particular place. I didn't even think about selling tools and that kind of thing. So that's the general ideas to get you ideas to kind of start off. And lastly, I'm just going to go through this real quick, this is something that is very new to the community. We are launching our sourcing mastermind. So what I'm doing for 60 days is I'm going to go through a guided course per se, and I'm going to walk through and show a couple of techniques of how I find my products, how I train my virtual assistants to find my products. And we're really going to see how I do it in my business, and that would give you a lot of great, like a really great start on how to find products using the various tools like Keepa, and how to really maximize using 3P Mercury to find more leads than you thought you actually had. So that's starting soon on May 21st. Hope you guys can join us. We're going to do that for 60 days. We're going to get on once a week, watch me source live, explain the theory behind it, and it's going to be a really eye-opening event. Okay, so. So just to start off, with our application, and not just the mobile extension, alone, but 3P Mercury itself. Like, what makes 3P Mercury different, and why do you why should you pay attention to this program? So most, if not all, applications out there are defaulting and making you save your leads to a spreadsheet. Now, the problem with the spreadsheets is that, well, the number one problem with the spreadsheet is that the data, once you save it there, the data is static. It never changes. So the issue with that is you have to go back and manually review all of the leads that you find. Now that if you only had a handful of leads, that's not a problem. But over time, you start to accumulate a huge amount of leads where it just becomes impossible, if not, just not economical to manually go through each lead. So most people just end up not doing it. They just dump the lead and then they go find something new. And that's a huge problem. You're essentially throwing away money by doing that, because it's much easier to resource a lead that you've already found than to go find a whole brand new one. So with our not only our Chrome extension on the desktop, but now our mobile version also fully integrates in with 3P Mercury. You'll be able to go through the entire workflow from your phone. So it automatically goes in there, saves your lead, tracks your lead every single day, and gives you the latest statistics to make buying decisions. Now, we don't have time to go through the entire 3P Mercury system because today is dedicated to the mobile extension, so we're going to focus on that. But just to give you a little bit of overview, that 3P Mercury is the entire workflow system for an online seller. So I hope if you guys are new to 3P Mercury, that you really get into a lot of the training courses and that kind of thing that we do in 3P Mercury, and really learn the system to kind of unclutter the mess of spreadsheets. And just to give you an idea, what we're talking about. So this is one of my old spreadsheets that I had before I had 3P Mercury. And as you can see, I'm sure a lot of you will say that, hey, this looks a lot like my spreadsheet, because, this is what we do as Amazon sellers, right? We go find a lead, and then we save it to a spreadsheet somewhere using maybe a Chrome extension that automatically saves it to a Google Sheet. And then from there, we're putting down, how much we pay for it, how many units we buy, where we bought it from. And then once we receive the product, we cross it off like this. Maybe you don't do the cross off method like I did, but that was the only way I was able to indicate that, this is a product I fully received. So I used to cross them off like this. And then if you look on the bottom, there are tabs by month. I used to organize them by months. And over time, I've accumulated tens of thousands of leads. And if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I would just never go back and resource these products, because it just takes way too much time, and you're just not going to do it. So, and this is not just something that's coming from me, but a lot of sellers that are starting to with 3P Mercury realize this real quick. It's like, oh wow, I can actually resource my leads and take up all these opportunities. And that's what we do, and especially in the mastermind course that's coming up, we are going to go through a lot of opportunities that you didn't realize that you had by having a system that checks these leads for you. And this is just one of the reviews that we got recently, and I really love this review because it really speaks about what I just mentioned. Is that before they had 3P Mercury, they just had thousands of leads spread over a bunch of spreadsheets, And they just start using 3P Mercury, and all of a sudden they realize what a mess their business has been. We get a lot of comments like this all day, every day. So if you guys are new or haven't joined 3P Mercury yet, and you're interested, go to 3pmercury.com and join us, and hope to see you in the mastermind, sourcing mastermind, coming soon. So just a quick overview of 3P Mercury, so you can kind of understand the extension once I go through it. It's the flow chart, or the process of the workflow of a third-party seller is pretty much the same. If you think about it, it's pretty much the same whether or not you have 3P Mercury or not, right? So the very first thing you got to do is find the ASIN, right? Find the ASIN, source the product that you want to sell on, and then do profit analysis on it, right? This is the same for every seller, regardless of what system you have, right? After you find that ASIN, then you record the lead, and like I've been saying, that's typically resorting to storing on a spreadsheet of some sort. After that, you purchase the product, and then you store the purchasing record. So with Amazon, it's very important to make sure you store receipts, keep your receipts in order, your invoices in order, because sooner or later that Amazon account health team is going to go after you and say, hey, I want to see whether or not you're sourcing legitimately. So they are going to so it's very important to make sure you store your receipts. And a lot of people don't take this seriously enough until they get in trouble. They just like, oh, it's good enough to store it in my email, and once they get an IP complaint, they realize that Amazon wants 365 days worth of purchases for that ASIN, not just your latest receipt. And digging up for that receipt is a huge pain. If anyone has ever done it, you know my pain, right? After you purchase the product, then you have to receive the product. Whether you're doing retail arbitrage, online, wholesale, you get the product back to your warehouse or your location, and then you are identifying the product, and then doing your prep and shipping it in. And then the next piece, and usually this is where it kind of revolves back, is the finance piece and the replenishment. So if you sell a product, you obviously want to know whether or not you're profitable, and whether or not that product is worth replenishing, or what's your inventory state. Are you low on inventory? Are you too high on inventory? So those things are typically what you go through as an Amazon seller. And this is what 3P Mercury does. It takes all of this workflow that, if you've been selling on Amazon, you completely understand what I'm saying. It takes all of this workflow and puts it into a system, right? So that it is all congruent. It's not spread all over a bunch of different spreadsheets, where it doesn't talk to each other, the data doesn't refresh. All of this is all integrated into a system, okay? Now, what that entails then, right, is that we provide every piece of the tool as part of that workflow. So when you think about that workflow that I just previously showed you, it starts with a profit calculator, right? When you're identifying a product. The profit calculator then saves the lead to a lead management system, and essentially that database will then update and track that ASIN and give you the latest data, so that you can make a decision whether or not you want to purchase that product or repurchase that product. Then it goes to, once you purchase it, it goes to our purchase order management system, where it'll store your receipts, your invoices. That makes it very easy to pull up, and provide to Amazon, or to, whatever you need it for. If you need to make a return from your vendor, then it goes to the next piece, where it's receiving inventory. We provide a tool for that, so that you can check in your products a lot easier, a lot quicker. Be able to dump in a export file out to Inventory Lab, Scan Power, Amazon, send to FBA. sent to Amazon workflow, and we provide a tool to do that, and as well as financial analysis and restock. So, it completes the entire circle, the entire workflow of the Amazon selling, business. Now, we're going to go over mobile sourcing now, which is the meat of this topic. So thank you for listening to that intro, but it is actually important for you to understand the entire workflow so that it makes sense once I show you how I do it on mobile. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to my phone view so that you can see the mobile sourcing portion of 3P Mercury, and I'm going to show you that mobile sourcing, and then I'm gonna come back in view and kind of talk about it for a little bit. All right, first off, we're gonna start here and click on the shortcut icon that I saved to my phone. So this launches 3P Mercury's website. So if I click on this, you'll see that it is the 3P Mercury's website, but it looks a little bit different in that it has some icons on the bottom footer. So right there, you'll see the home button, the search button, scan, finder, settings, don't worry about that. So here, we're gonna test out first is the UPC scanner. So if you click on that middle bottom button that says scan, what it's going to do is it's going to ask if whether or not you allow your camera access. So go ahead and allow that. And then what it does is it launches your camera app so that you can scan UPC codes. So you see here that I scanned this UPC code for this one product. It's this International Delight product. And for those of you who have used 3P Mercury before, this screen looks pretty familiar. It almost is identical to our Chrome extension for our profit calculator. Up top, you'll see the action buttons such as saving a buy list, launching your custom fees and whatnot. And then below is your typical calculator where you enter in the sales price and your buy cost, what you purchase it for, and then your profit, what those turn out to be. And similar to our Chrome extension is this quick view that we're going to look at, this quick decision button where it's an indicator that lets you know whether or not it's met your criteria. And we can spend some time on that a little bit later. But if you start scrolling down, you start to see, any information that's related to this product, such as the brand, the tier of product, the size tier, the dimensions and the weight, and whatnot. And then you also get Keepa data. So you'll see how many drops. So for instance, this is a 58 drop per month product with 2 sellers on it. Right now, and Amazon's not currently selling it. So if you look at this product, from here we proceed to sourcing. So I'm going to hit this G Google button right here to launch Google search just to see if I can find this product. But assuming that you're in the store, you already know how much this product costs. But you can use this tool to source just on your phone while you're sitting on your couch, so it's not necessarily just a retail arbitrage type of app, but it can also, you can also use it to search, while you're waiting for your doctor's office or something, So you can click on G right here. So it launches Google and it sends me my search results. So the very first one, I see Web Restaurant is selling this product for $3.99. Instacart, Walmart has one that I could look into. All of these, but $3.99 looks good. This Trugether, I don't know what this is, but $2.99 looks pretty good. But I don't know this one website. I'm more familiar with Webstaurant. So let's just try Webstaurant. So I'm going to put in $3.99 just to see what we get here. So $3.99. And right away, I see that I make $2.22 in profit, 55% ROI at nearly 19% margin, which is pretty good. This quick decision button here, this indicator, it helps you source quickly. So if you want to, not have to sit there and analyze so much data, you see, if I click on this green dot here, right by the word FBA, what it's going to do is it's going to tell me right away whether or not it meets my criteria. So the first 3 criteria is often taught as the 3-step check. So it checks to see if the 90-day average is at least my break-even sales price. So here, it says the last 90 days it's been selling for $4.20, which may cause a little bit of a pause. And that's because earlier when we were looking at the Keepa graph, we noticed that Amazon used to sell this product. So it may require a little bit more research. So it tells you, hey, pay attention to the last 90 days sales price. There might be an issue here. With the velocity, it tells me whether or not it's met my drop criteria. So I set in this calculator a minimum of 30 drops per month. This 30-day drop is 58, so it passes that check. The profit margin passes my minimum ROI, which is 30%. It's not a transparency product. It's not one of my restricted brands. It's not a meltable. It's not a hazmat. And Amazon is not currently selling it right now. So it gives you a very quick decision process without you having to analyze very much data. And I'm going to close that out. So assuming, let's say, for instance, I do want to save this lead, I'm going to hit the save button right on the top left-hand corner, right by the logo. So I'm going to hit this little save icon. And what it does is it creates my buy list and saves it into 3P Mercury. So the good part of having this on the go is that it all integrates into 3P Mercury's website. So, typically with a profit calculator, you might be able to click a button to export out to a Google Sheet or whatever, but this goes directly into my lead database for tracking. And there are so many reasons why you would want to keep it into a system. That's probably a topic for another day, but we go over the huge advantages of not keeping things on a Google spreadsheet. Mainly because the data is just static. It'll never update for you, and it causes a lot of manual work. But we won't go over that right now. So just to look at the app, I essentially hitting that button, I was able to save it to my lead database. You'll see that up top it says the buy list has been created successfully. And from here, I can make any changes that I'd like. So for instance, let's say I'm in the store and I want to buy 10 of these units to test, right? I'm going to go ahead and save that as 10 units. And then let's assume I'm actually in the store. So this is just an RA source. And I know Web Restaurant doesn't have retail chains, but if they did, let's just say, I'm saving all of these items to my lead database. And then from there, if I want, I can just go ahead and either close this out or and then source a new product, or I can create a purchase order directly from here. So I'm going to go ahead and create this purchase order. So I hit create PO. From here, it's going to ask me whether or not I want to create this purchase order. And then I'm going to hit OK. And there you go. I created a purchase order from my phone at the store. So from here, I can add more products. I can continue to source more products from the store and add it to this purchase order. Or I can go ahead and go to my checkout aisle and proceed with checking in. Now, the good thing about having this on the phone is if I wanted to check out this product, I can go ahead and pay for the product. And then this attachment button right here that you see in the middle, if I click on this and then hit attachment, it's going to ask me if I want to use my camera's photo library or take a photo. So this is something that's advantageous for you to have on your phone while you're sourcing in the store, because essentially you can go to the store, check out, buy the product, and then take a picture of the receipt right at the store without you having to go home and do any other administrative work. So I'm going to take a picture here. And I don't have a receipt, but let's just say I take a picture of this thing, pretend it's receipt. So I'm just going to take a picture, and then I'm going to use the photo. And then it attaches the receipt to my purchase order so that I can later on use it to, if I need to make a return, or let's say Amazon gives me an IP complaint, I can use 3P Mercury's search features to search this ASIN and pull up that receipt for Amazon and provide it to them and get my account back in order. So I'm just going to close this out, and that's a quick demonstration of how to find a lead and add it to your lead database and then create a purchase order. All right, folks. So I just switched back out of my phone, and so that essentially shows you how to source, just by using a UPC scanner. Now that is good for an initial scan, in that, like if you're sourcing certain products, UPC scanning is very useful. Like for instance, if you're sourcing shoes, clothing and shoes, or anything that is more of like a one-time buy, it's actually very good to just do a scan, like a UPC scan. But with, especially if you've taken the replens course, we don't typically teach you to scan barcodes. That's kind of like the old method of sourcing. It's good for outlet stores and maybe bargain places like Marshalls or whatnot. But in general, there's better ways to source. So the second method I'm going to show you next is how to do product searches. So this is something that I would do personally instead of just scanning UPCs. Maybe if I was bored and I was standing in front of something, and maybe I'll scan a UPCs just to check. But in general, you're going to find a lot more products is if you actually try to search for the product by title, because you might end up missing a lot of things. On Amazon, if all you did was just scan a UPC code. So we're gonna look at that other sourcing method next, is doing product searches on the mobile app. Okay. The next feature here is the product search feature. So the bottom footer, you'll see the second icon is called search. So if I click on that, it launches the search products. So let's say I'm in the store and I want to search for a particular product. And I'm going to keep this pretty broad. I'm just going to type in Kroger. Let's say I'm inside of Kroger and I want to search for a particular product. It's going to return me the results based off of the name Kroger. And what it's going to do is, the benefit to this, instead of searching on Amazon, it is also has the profit calculator built in. So let's say, for instance, I want to search on this Kroger Creamy Italian 2-pack. So, of course, if I'm in the store, I know how much it costs, but assuming I'm not in the store, I can hit this Google button again. And it looks like I can buy this product for $2.29. And I'm going to go ahead and let's just put in that price as $2.29 times 2. So $2.29, that's $4.58 as a buy cost. So once I put that in and the sales price populates for me, I see that I am $4.24 in profit, 93% ROI, 24% margin. That looks pretty good. I can even click on the little dot icon and see whether or not it's met my criteria in terms of my quick decisions criteria. Then I can go there. I can click on Amazon button to launch Amazon's webpage to see if what that product is. I can go back and save it to my buy list here. Also, I can see really quickly whether or not I can sell this product. So on the top right hand corner, you'll see the green button that says sell. That tells me that I can sell this product. I'm not restricted. And if I want to dive in deeper, I can click this magnifying glass on the bottom right hand corner and then click on that to see more data. So I can click on here and then I can go to it, make sure that I see what the brand is. Looks like this product has lost any kind of tracking to it. Amazon's not selling. And profit-wise, everything looks good. I might need a little pause to look at a little bit more research based off of why this product has lost, is not being tracked with Keepa. From here, I can even click the Keepa button, and it'll launch Keepa, and then I can look to see what's going on with this product. Maybe in the last 3 months, what's going on. It looks like this product, I need to log into my Keepa from my phone, but it looks like this product is being tracked. So if I logged into Keepa, this would show me a little bit better in sales rank and that kind of thing. Last year, it sold over $18, which it's good. So it looks like a very profitable product. I can probably save this. The only thing that's of caution is the drops in Keepa. It's not possibly being tracked somehow. But in general, this looks like a pretty good product, and I can go ahead and save this to my buy list. I can even hit the little plus sign and just do a quick save, and it'll save it to my buy list. Without me having to type in any information, and I can just move on and then go find the next product. From here, any other Kroger products, I can just hit this little magnifying glass right here, right next to the brand, and then it'll just click that, and then it'll launch Amazon also, which shows me similar to what I saw in my search results. And I can go back to 3P Mercury, and then from here, I can click this little purple arrow to go back to my search results, and it takes me back to my search results where I can find other Kroger products that I can possibly sell on, and then that's the feature to do a product search and see whether or not any products are profitable. This 48 count here, I can do the same thing. I can just do a Google search, or if I'm in the store, and let's say I'm in the store and I know this thing sells for, let's say $12, I can just put in $12. It'll calculate out for me, and it shows me my profit margins right on the go. And from here, I can even save the buy list. I can click it from here without even going to the calculator. I can just hit save, and then it'll take me right to my profit calculator, and I can save from here. So super convenient for you to source on the go, or just on the, sitting on the sofa binging Netflix. You can source while you're on your phone. Sorry, I had my mic muted. So in my opinion, that's actually the better way to source, is to look for the product in a search, so that you can find more products instead of just scanning a UPC, because with scanning a UPC, it has to be that exact match. And it's a little bit better these days on Amazon, where Amazon's actually enforcing correct UPCs, but in general, there's been a lot of products in the past where the UPC is not correct, even though it's the right product, but the right product, right brand. scanning the UPCs, you're going to miss out on a lot of things, even if you find multi-packs or any kind of other opportunities as well. So we do recommend you use the search function to source. Now, one downside to sourcing with the search is that sometimes the search you get incorrect results. Like earlier you would see, for instance, I searched Kroger, but it showed up a bunch of different type of products. So this third method is something that's I think pretty unique to 3P Mercury. I don't think any other app out there or any mobile sourcing tool out there is doing it right now. I think this is pretty cool. So what I'm about to show you is the product finder feature of 3P Mercury. So just to give you a brief overview before I show it to you. So the product finder is pretty much like the Keepa product finder. If you guys ever been to Keepa.com and you utilize that tool and you use the product finder, this is a very similar concept. It's very similar where you are searching a product using specific filters. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how I could use a product finder and find Kroger brands more accurately so that I don't stumble upon listings where, let's say, it's misbranded, it's generic, or it isn't even Kroger at all. And this is how we more accurately source using this tool. So I'm about to show you that next, okay? The next feature in here is called the product finder. So on the bottom footer, if you look at the fourth icon that looks like a binoculars, that's called the product finder. So if I click on that, that's going to launch me this filter function here where I can search for things such as, if I want to find different categories, I can search titles that matches what I want to type, rank, drops, offer counts, a lot of different filters. But I'm going to use, for instance here, the same example. Let's say I'm in the store and I'm at Kroger. And what if I want to find all the other Kroger brands? Well, if I did this in this search, this filter function, this find products function, the difference between doing it here and doing it on the search feature is that the search feature will look for product matches in the title. So if I search for Kroger in the products here, if I just look for Kroger here, what it's going to do is return me anything that matches a Kroger text in the title, which, as we can already see in the first result, that this is misspelled Kroger, and I'm not even sure if that's the correct brand. And then it also returns some mismatches as well. But if I use the finder feature, then what I can do here is in the brand, I can type in Kroger. And by default, this this filter, this finder feature comes with a couple of default filters, like for instance, only show where the buy box is over $25. Well, I'm in a grocery store, so things might not be $25. So I'm just going to remove this, and that way I can get more search results. And here, when I specifically search for the brand Kroger, it's only going to return me products or ASINs that matches the brand Kroger that is in Amazon's catalog. So this should eliminate a lot of mismatches when you're sourcing in store, or even if you're sourcing on the go. And if I hit find products here, what it's going to do is return me the ASINs with the Kroger brand. So from here, if I'm in the store and I'm in the aisle, the coffee aisle, I can find this product here and see if I can source this profitably. These peanut butters, let's say I can find them for $3 a jar. It's a 2-pack. So let's just put in $6. Sales price is $18. I can click on this little dot and tell me what the average 90-day is. It's selling for about $17.70. So that's not too far off of the current buy box, which is good. That could be a good find. I'm just going ahead and do a quick save for that product. And then here's another Kroger product here, assuming that it's the same price. I'm just going to call it $6 again. And it tells me I am, $3 in profit margin, pretty good ROI, good margin there. So I can, create a buy list and create a purchase order and buy it directly from the store. I'm just going to save it to my lead database for now. And I can just keep going down. So you essentially can go and shop the entire Kroger shopping center by using this finder and finding all these products that meet a particular brand. So, after you're done finding all of these Kroger products, what else does Kroger sell? Kroger sells other brands too. So, you can use this product finder and go into the finder and put in the brand and possibly, source the entire store while you're there. This is a very quick and accurate way to find products for a particular brand. And, this is the type of stuff that, 3P Mercury allows you to do and source very quickly. And, if you happen to find too many search results, you can certainly go to the finder and then trim it down some more and put in your drop criteria or your sold monthly average. Maybe you want it to sell at least, 100 times per month, or offer count or minimum BSR rating. All of these things can be done right directly from your phone. All right. Yeah, stop forgetting to unmute myself there. But so we've using this tool, this finder tool is going to be, I think personally, game changing when especially if you're in the store, because finding products using Amazon's search is a little bit chaotic in that it's very similar to like how I just did a product search on 3P Mercury's the second demo that I did, the second feature that I showed you. It shows you a good amount of products, but sometimes it's showing you too many things, like it's actually returning the incorrect results, and it just slows you down. And then on top of that, sometimes you might find a good lead, you click on it, and it turns out it's generic or misbranded, right? With the Finder feature, it's actually a lot more accurate and more efficient way to search. In that, first of all, you're putting in the actual brand that you want to search for, so that you want to you eliminate the chance of having any kind of misbranded product, right? So let's say you got somebody that's putting together a bundle under their own brand or something like that, and you happen to, that looks like it's a profitable product, and you accidentally click on it and you want to source it, and not really realizing that it's a misbrand. Well, this eliminates that process. That problem where it's only going to return, like for instance in this example, Kroger brands, right? Anything else it doesn't return because it doesn't meet that criteria. Secondly, it returns more accurately. It eliminates all the mismatches, right? So by returning only products that meet the Kroger brand criteria, it eliminates all the mismatches. So you can actually just go down the list and source, throughout the store, and you can apply this for so many different brands, right? Like if you're sourcing like a particular toy and you want to find the other brand, the other ASINs for that brand, and you're already in the store, you can essentially do this and search for it, and then just go down the aisle and look for that product, right? And then after, there's so many ways to do this. There's so many stores that actually have their own private label brand. Costco has their Kirkland's, Walmart has their Great Value, and various other brands. HEB has their whatever it is, Hill Country or whatever it's called, right? And so you can just source and find products so much quicker and more accurately this way, and actually safer, because you don't run into the risk of finding a misbranded product. So essentially, that's my demo today. That's what I wanted to show you, the mobile sourcing app. But you can see how easily this integrates into the entire system. And I'd love to show you at a different live event, one in the near future, how to utilize all of this throughout the whole entire 3P Mercury website. And through the whole workflow, and really see the power of being able to track this, not having to use a spreadsheet. And a lot of our members are really realizing, like, there's like, wow, I didn't realize what a mess of my business was. And this is the reason I built this product, right? I built this product for myself. In that my business was such a mess, and then I was realizing, I was like, man, I have to hire a horde of VAs to go through and look at all of my old leads. What if a store goes on sale? I got to go find all the leads that belong to that store that I've previously sourced, just to go back and check to see if I'm profitable. Well, 3P Mercury can do that in seconds for you. So keep that in mind, that 3P Mercury is not just a profit calculator. We're not just a lead management system. We are an entire workflow that will help you run your entire business. And there's many, many more exciting features to come, a lot more automations to come. We're putting in, artificial intelligence and all kinds of things that we're going to put into there. And as a quick reminder, if you're not part of 3P Mercury yet, we're launching our mastermind in 2 days on Wednesday. It's not too late to join. Register before the event happens. Otherwise, you're going to miss the very first event. We're really going to dive into sourcing. So we really want all of our members to be really good at sourcing, and take advantage of that. So if you're not part of 3P Mercury yet, go to 3pmercury.com and join us. And in 2 days, we're going to start this mastermind on sourcing. It's going to be really great. I got a few minutes for questions, and we're going to wrap up. So Don says, Jim always talks about 12 drops for a product. Are you flexible on that, or do you always keep it to 30? No, I'd like to, in the calculator, I always keep 30 as my guide, just to give me an idea of whether or not this is a fast moving product. But I always test a product purely based off of, and we're going to talk about this a lot in the mastermind as well. There are other factors that you need to analyze as well, whether or not it's test worthy, whether or not it's profitable at all, or the last 30 days, how many reviews it has. There's so many other factors that you use to analyze a product, but it's nice to know quickly whether or not a product has met that criteria, so that you don't spend too much time on a product that is just bad, right? Like if I just see like no drops at all, and then the rank is several hundred thousands in BSR ranks, and then I take a quick glance just to see if there's any reviews for that product, and there's like hardly any reviews at all, then it's a pretty good indicator that the product's not going to sell. So, it's really nice to have that quick decision button to kind of just click on it and glance and see, okay, whether or not this met my criteria. Like that first example where it looked like it was a great product, that International Delight, it looked like it's a great product. But when I clicked on that quick decision button, it alerted me that, hey, the last 90 days average was about $4.90. And then, that would trigger me right away to just say, hey, let me go do a little bit better research on this product. Why is it $4.90, right, in the last 90 days? And that's because Amazon's selling it. So then that would lead me to do a little bit more research and say, hey, is Amazon usually out of stock on this, or are they just temporarily out of stock today? And that would help me in that decision-making process. So again, all of this is going to be, we're going to go over a lot of these concepts in the mastermind. So if you're not in it, if you haven't registered yet, make sure that you subscribe to 3P Mercury and then register for that event. It's going to be a really great event. It's not sold anywhere. We're not packaging it up as a course and selling it separately. It's really just for our subscribers. And that's, we want you guys to succeed. So, that's what it's there for. It's a part of it. Okay. Let's see. Another question is there a way to connect 3P to Amazon Seller Central so that we can make the listing as well, so that the process is complete? We are actually integrating that feature into 3P Mercury. So again, if you guys are new to 3P Mercury or not yet joined, that's the cool thing about this product, is that we just built feature after feature. I mean, this product keeps transforming overnight. It's very hard to even record tutorial videos because it just changes so much. That's one of the features that's coming, is the ability to, even from your Chrome extension, to click a button and then just create and add it to your catalog, as well as throughout the entire 3P site. So that feature is on its way, and I'll be pretty excited for that as well. Let's see, how do you sign up for the mastermind? So Steve, if you are a subscriber to 3P Mercury, what you're going to do is you're going to get all the bonus contents that I mentioned. If you go to the menu, and then the very first menu is bonus content. That's where you get our ungating guide, and as well as a link to register to our mastermind. So as long as you're a subscriber to the application, even if you were part of a free trial that has ended, if you're part of a free trial, just go ahead and subscribe. You won't get charged until your trial period is over. Then just go ahead and subscribe, and then you'll get access to that bonus menu, and you'll be able to register for the sourcing mastermind. And it doesn't matter what plan you sign up for, whether it's the essentials plan or the elite plan. This mastermind is for all subscribers. I can't say that for all the future member content, exclusive member content. There will be definitely some member content that's exclusive for the elite tier, but in this instance, it's 100% free, available for you, for all of you guys who subscribe. Let's see. Can 3P act as a replacement for other programs like Nepeto or Tactical Arbitrage? Not right now. So we are currently, part of the presentation, what I showed you is we're focusing on like the workflow process. The sourcing aspect is more on the, the profit calculator and that kind of thing. And then there are other methods of sourcing as well, which we're going to go over in the mastermind, in that, there are so many opportunities people aren't using to resource their old leads, their old current inventory, that we're going to go in there and resource our product as well. But Tactical Arbitrage and Nepeto, they're more of a site scraping tool, where they're trying to identify ASINs with the product on the site. And I have mixed feelings about that. You guys can, certainly use it if you like. Now, one of the methods that we teach using a tool like that is with Brian Olson's webinar that he did with us with 3P Mercury. So Brian Olson taught a method of using a tool like Nepeto. And what he does is he grabs a lot of leads that he finds and he dumps it into 3P Mercury to track. So the beautiful part of 3P Mercury is that it's tracking those leads for you, right? So a lot of problems with tools like Nepeto and Tactical Arbitrage is people go out and buy those products immediately. They go out and they go buy it. But the problem is a lot of other Nepeto users are also going to buy that product, right? So it often leads to price tanking and less than desired results. Is the feedback that I normally get from TA people or Nepeto people, where he says it looked great when I found it, and then when I bought it, and by the time it checked into Amazon, 50 sellers jump on it. Well, that's the same problem with leads lists, right? And and if you just do it that way, you're probably most likely not going to succeed. But the way that we do it is we save those leads into 3P Mercury so that you can track it, so that when that crowd of people who jumped on early, essentially sells out and lose a bunch of money, that's when you come back in, right? Because most people, they come in, they lose money, they get scared, they never touch that ASIN again. But that's the opportunity that you have using 3P Mercury, is to identify those leads and then go in at that point. I have a lot of examples where I've done that, and I've posted screenshots of the Keepa charts and stuff like that, where it shows like essentially I'm the only seller left because everybody got scared and left, right? So we're going to talk a lot about that in the Sourcing Mastermind as well. But if you'd like to see that webinar that was presented, go to silentjim.com/thesystem, silentjim.com/thesystem, and that webinar is posted on that website. It's the second one to the far right. You'll be able to see that presentation I did with Brian Olson, and he teaches how he uses a tool like Nepeto and Tactical Arbitrage with 3P Mercury. How do you create a shortcut on your screen from your home browser? So Ron, if you are using an iPhone, you can click on the little arrow button on the bottom of your phone. It looks like an arrow. I don't know how to really describe it, but it looks like an arrow. And if you click on that, you'll have an option to save to your home page. And we'll post a tutorial on how to do that, but essentially you can save any website to your home page, home screen, and then it will just look like an app. So that's how we do it with 3P Mercury. Let's see, a couple more questions and we probably have to wrap up. The product you chose from Webstaurant, would you have a pretty large shipping charge? How do you handle that when you're sourcing? Yeah, we'll talk about that in our sourcing mastermind of how to handle shipping charges and things like that. So, it's definitely, if you're not part of that mastermind, you're going to want to be, because we talk a lot about these things. Let's see. Will the masterminds be recorded if we're unable to attend due to work? Yes, it will. Let's see, thank you. Let's see, the custom fees. Yes, the custom fees will translate from the site to the mobile profit calculator. It's all integrated, so there's nothing that is separate that you guys are, you have to deal with, like an app doesn't talk to the website. That's kind of like the whole reason, that's our whole philosophy behind building 3P Mercury. We never want to build something that doesn't talk to each other, right? All of our components integrate in with 3P Mercury. So we never have, a mobile calculator, mobile sourcing tool that doesn't integrate in the custom fees that you already did on the site. In fact, on the mobile, the mobile calculator, you can actually modify your custom fees on your phone. So it's all integrated, it's all the same, and it's it's all part of 3P Mercury. Susie says, yeah, Steve says I'm on the free trial. Yeah, Steve, it's you're not gonna be charged anything while you're on trials on the free trial. So just go ahead and subscribe, and you'll get access and be able to register. And it's no commitment. If you want to cancel later, you can. So it gets you into that sourcing mastermind. All right. Susie says, when you're in the Finder, you need to know the cost Was there a button to hit, or do you have to know the cost? Well, part of this being in the mobile app is you're probably in the store and you know what the cost is, right? So you're probably typing in what you found on the shelf, Susie. But imagine if you didn't, I did show an example where I clicked the Google button, where it takes me to Google, like that very first International Delight Creamer. I didn't know what the cost was, so I clicked that Google button and it took me to Google, and I was able to find the cost quite quickly and then go back to the calculator and put it in. So, you can source directly in the store where you know what the cost is, or you can do Google search directly from your phone. And I've been doing that. I've been sitting on the sofa and hanging out and just playing with the mobile sourcing tool. And surprisingly, I've been able to find a couple of A's, and it's just sitting there, doing some Google searches and being able to find products. And then I just save it to my buy list, and then I tell my VAs to go buy a couple. So it's a completely integrated system, and that's what makes it really exciting. John says, you have an Android and the scanner isn't working. Yeah, just I think that was the same question I answered earlier. Just send us a intercom ticket, and we'll help you out there. Okay. Ron, you have to hold your phone about 6 inches from the item. Yes, you have to hold it a little closer. That's usually the issue. It takes a little bit of getting used to. A lot of people take it really far away, and it's usually a distance thing. It's like the barcode's so far away, your camera isn't it can't see as much details as you think. So you gotta have to put it a little closer, not too close where it becomes blurry, but like similar to how I did the International Delight, kind of like in front of the phone about 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches or so, and you should be good. Let's see, Herbert says, do you have a link to the webinar you did with Brian Olson? Yeah, that's like I mentioned, that's on silentjim.com/the system. If you go there, you'll be able to find it on the very top of the page. Let's see, when I went to the site on Google, a download link popped up. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, a lot of people for the scanner. Yeah, if you guys just you'll get used to it. You'll definitely get used to it. It's just a distance thing, and make sure you're not like trying to scan in the dark or something. Like if you have like pretty good lighting, scan it. It's usually a distance thing. What I typically do is I kind of hold it far away, and then I just move it a little closer until it takes it, and that's what I do. But you get kind of used to the distance. It's about 6 to 8 inches. If you just kind of point at it, it works. It's the same Android, iPhone. It's just your camera. So as long as your camera can pick it up, you'll be good to go. Last question here, and then we're going to adjourn. Is 3P good for sourcing books? Books is just a UPC, right? So it's just a UPC with numbers. So if you you can use the mobile sourcing tool and scan the UPC, and you'll be able to go through and scan your books. We have some sellers currently subscribed to 3P, and they sell a lot of books, so I assume so. I don't sell any books other than some random ones. Like I don't go to like those book bins or anything like that where I can buy them for like 20 cents. I actually buy like retail books that cost like $10, $15, $20, and I sell those books. So those things sell just fine. I don't use I don't go through like a giant bin of books and scan. So I really couldn't say, but there's in theory, why wouldn't it work, right? It should work. Ron says you should wait to start the mastermind until the week after the conference. So yeah, it happens to coincidentally also start it with the conference, but you know, the first one will be recorded. Well, all of them will be recorded, but we definitely want to get that started. And you know, with the conference, you know, we'll just pick up right after the conference. We're not going to do the mastermind on the week of the conference. That's for sure. So we're definitely going to skip a week. So we're going to do it, you know, in 2 days, and then when the conference hit, we're going to definitely skip a week. So you know, we'll definitely pause there. And part of the mastermind as well is actually putting it into action. So I do want some time in between for you to take use of what you learned. So for the first session, what we're going to do is we're going to teach you a method, and then what we're going to do is have you actually use that method, go out and source. And then the next week we'll review, and then the following week we are going to teach a new method, right? So that's kind of like the whole idea is kind of like a show, tell, and go do it, right? So so we definitely expect, you know, with any type of knowledge, it doesn't work unless you put out the effort and do it, and then apply the knowledge that you learn. So we definitely give you some time in between lessons to also go and put it into practice. So that's why we kind of space it out as well, because it's not just like a brain dump. We're not just going to dump a bunch of information on you and then expect you to remember all of it and then just go out and source on your own. So we're going to definitely break it up, learn, go do it, talk about it, go learn some more, right? All right. Anyways, so you know, thank you guys for joining me on the stream, and you know, looking forward to do many of these later with you guys. You know, there's a lot of new features to come, and really exciting things. And if you're going to be at the conference, I look forward to meeting all of you, and we'll talk to you soon.